This is the first song I can remember hearing Eric Clapton play. And listening to the album that it was on, EC Was Here, back in 1975, was enough to cause me to trade in my acoustic guitar at the time and buy an electric and focus on learning blues lead guitar. I could never find an accurate tab of the opening solo that Eric plays on this number on the album. So eventually I decided I'd sit down and work it out note for note myself. In this lesson, I'll be going through the first 12 bars in detail. Once you've got that down, I think you'll find the rest of the playing on that track is reasonably easy enough to copy straight off the record. Here's the end result. Now let's zoom in and look at the detail lick by lick. So this first lick starts with a slide from fret 2 to 4 on the G string, followed by a hammer on frets 3 to 5 on the B string, and a double stop on the top 2 strings at the 3rd fret. And then immediately after the double stop, a single G note on the top string. And then we echo that double stop again on the 4th beat of that 2nd bar. So in slow motion. Here's the tab for those opening bars. We then count 2 beats into the next bar before starting the next lick. Notice the timing. We count out 2 beats, 1 and 2 and then come in on the at the end of that 2nd beat. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 3, 4, So that's the 3rd fret on the top string, 6th fret on the B string, 3rd fret on the B string, and a bend on the 3rd fret on the G string, back to the 3rd fret on the B string. The next lick was probably the hardest to work out as it's played so fast, but it actually starts on the beat on a slide from 5 to 6 and back on the G string. So that's a lightning fast slide, then a bend at the same point, fret 5 on the 3rd string, slight bend, and then a barely heard return to this note here on the 4th string at fret 5, and again a barely heard snap hammer on here, and back to there. This is probably a good time to pause the video and practice that first line a few hundred times. I know I had to when I was working this out. Here's the tab for those first 4 licks. Those first 2 bars again with the licks circled in red so that you can practice them individually before joining them together. And here's the next 2 bars. To help with the timing, I've lined up each note with the 12 beat count shown beneath the tab. The next line is easier to learn and to play. After counting 3 main beats, we come in with a G at fret 8 on the B string on beat 4. Before hitting the same note again on the first and second beats of the next bar. And then finish with a barely heard tail on the end of the lick, which is a hammer on from fret 6 to 8 on the top string. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Notice a bit of vibrato there on that third note. Next we move up to the 12th fret on the G string. So I play this note with my second finger, because I then want to jump to fret 13 on the B string with a bend. And then I come back to my first finger at fret 11 on the B string and hammer on pull off to the 13th fret. And then this is followed by a lick with another bend at fret 13. And then a hammer on from 11 to 12 on the B string. And then jump back to the key note that we started on, the G at fret 12 on the G string. Here's the tab for that second line. Again, I think you'll find it easiest to learn it a chunk at a time, as indicated by my red markings. Now we come to the fast bit. I've split this into 3 separate licks in order to make it easier to learn and to practice. But in fact, there's a note played on every single beat in this section. So the first lick starts with a slide from fret 3 to 4 on the 3rd string using the 2nd finger. Then it's straight across the top 2 strings at the 3rd fret. Followed by a pull off from fret 6 to 3 on the B string. So that's a fairly standard blues lick for a G chord. The timing of the entry of this lick is critical. It comes in on the 6th beat of the bar, and I find that easiest to count like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then there's a similar timing problem with the next lick, which comes in on the 12th beat of that bar. So this lick is played from a pull off from fret 5 to 3 on the 2nd string. Then we play fret 6 on the B string up to fret 3 on the top string, and then we repeat that pull off again from 5 to 3 on the B string. But the tricky bit is that because of starting on the 12th beat, the accented beat is the one that falls on the pull off. So the pull off's got to be slightly stronger than usual. So putting those 2 licks together after our count of 6 beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and the last of these 3 licks again takes us from the 6th beat of the bar. So that's the 3rd fret at the top string, pull off from 5 to 3 on the B string, back to the note at fret 5 on the B string, then pull off from fret 5 to 3 on the G string, down to the key note G, fret 5 on the D string. And the timing of that again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... In case you're wondering why all the detail about timing these licks, well, experience has taught me that concentrating on the timing of each individual lick is the key to learning a fast, complex solo like this one really quickly and easily. So here's the tab for those last 3 licks, and you'll see that I've lined up the notes carefully with each of the 12 beats of the bar marked beneath. Into the home straight now, and this next lick starts with a slightly unusual bend on the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then we're up to the note at fret 3 on the B string, and then a pull off from fret 5 to 3 on the G string, which is then repeated. Then we're down to fret 5 on the D string, fret 3 on the D string, back to fret 5. And now we're back to a sort of regular swing beat. So the timing of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The final lick is another well-worn cliche, played on beats 2, 3, 4 and 1. So this starts with a slide on the 3rd string from fret 3 to 4, then hit twice on the 5th fret on the G string, and then back to a hammer on from 3 to 4, all on the G string. Notice that the slide and the hammer on are very, very fast. They don't really add any time value, they're just ways of accentuating those notes. So there you go. That's the first 12 bars of this recording. And I think once, as I said earlier, once you've got that down, the rest of the guitar playing on that track should be easy enough to pick up by ear. But if you are stuck on any particular part of the rest of the guitar work on the track, do contact me via the Secret Guitar Teacher site and I'll be happy to help you out with it. Also, for those of you who are members of the site, please note that you can download a printout of the tab of this first verse of the intro solo from the link near the video screen. See you again soon.